Okay, so right now in the center here of Costa Rica, or center of San Jose right now, I don't know what this place is, but this is in the center. And I want to share with you guys something, and I'm gonna bring you guys along. We're gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna share it with you. So I just got out of an Uber right now, and I was talking to the lady in the Uber. So right now, if you're struggling to kind of make some money and trying to figure out how to make more money, if money's been on your mind, then this video might be for you. So I was in the Uber, she just dropped me off over there, and we were talking, and she said, I really want to have more money. She wanted to have more money. And I say, well, what's the problem you're going to solve? And she looked at me a little bit strange. She's like, what do you mean, what problem I'm going to solve? I was like, well, you want to have more money? What's the problem you're solving? Right now, we're going to walk by some people. Normally I stop, but I don't feel called to right now. I look at the people. Now, there's no judgment here, but what problem are they solving? That's how I say, no, lo siento. Look at what problem they're solving. So I asked the lady what problem is she solving? She said, I don't know what problem I'm solving. I said, well, I'm staying at a hotel and I needed to come to the center. So I needed to come to the center, so I had a problem. I needed to go from my hotel to the center of the city. And she's like, yeah, that is a problem. And I'll try to walk a little bit. I said, that is a problem. I'm like, but that's a little problem. It was a very little problem. Not only was it a little problem, but it was a problem that anybody could solve. I looked, there was about 50 Uber cars that could have solved that problem. There's nothing special about your car. She had a very nice car, though, I will say that. There's nothing special about it. So not only was there nothing special about it, but it was an easy problem to solve. And this is where I'm like, so this is why you'll get a little bit of money for solving that little bit of problem. We get paid by the money that we get paid by the value that we bring. So all of you, you're getting paid on the problem that you're solving. And if you say, well, I'm not really solving a problem, then I can probably guess the salary that you're making or the money you have or because of the value. So this is something that's a really important thing for you all to remember. And I gave her an example. I finished a meeting a while back, and a person, I've done a few of these, but people pay a really good amount of money for a little bit of time. There's been times I've done a call, people paying hundreds of dollars for just a few minutes. Or I've done a session where it's just a few hours and people are paying thousands of dollars for just a few hours because I'm solving a big problem. Like, I'm working with someone who has everything they want, everything society says they should have, but they're not happy. That's a big problem. And I come in and solve that problem. And it's in solving that problem that we're paid. So if you're struggling, you might as well walk this way. Show you a little bit of Costa Rica. So if you're struggling, the one thing to remember and the question you need to ask yourself is, what problem are you solving? Actually, we're gonna go this way, guys. Seems a little bit more interesting. I can guarantee you're probably not solving a big problem. So if you want to make more money, then you have to think about, what problem are you going to solve? What is it? What are the problems that people have around you? And I gave this lady not even the same thing that you guys have. I gave them a little bit less than what you know, because you've known about it for a long time, is the Skills Academy. The Skills Academy I created is to teach you all about that. So the question I have for you here, you can learn all about this if you're new, go to the Skills Academy, it's totally free. But you have to think about, what problem are you going to solve? And the problem is, if you can't think of what problem you're going to solve because you're just focused on the money, then you're going to struggle. Like, people who are struggling right now, they're not solving a big enough problem. This is the key to remember. You have to find a bigger problem to solve. Here in San Jose, for example, when I look around, I think about it, even as you're watching this right now, what's the problems you see around here? As I'm walking through these streets, walking all down here, what are the problems that you're noticing? Because wherever you are in your setting, because what this lady said is, she said, well, hey, I want to go to America because there's more opportunity, and then I'll be able to help people and I can think of problems. But the fallacy in that logic is, you need to think of, what problem can you solve where you're at. Where you're at right now, where you're at in your life, where you're at in general, like the city you're in, the country you're in, the place you're in. What problem can you solve where you're at? More importantly, what problem do you see that is where you are? And to take it one step deeper, yeah, you can be taking notes of this. Take it one step deeper. What are problems that you have? What are some problems that you have that you're struggling with? Because if you're having a problem and you're struggling with it, guarantee you there's millions of other people out there struggling with that same exact problem. By the way, you can look around and you can see it. The people yelling here on the street, what problem are they solving? Bread, I think? Actually, we're gonna go back this way. We're gonna go back towards the main center. They're solving the problem of somebody wanting some bread. How many people can solve that problem? How many opportunities do you see other people having that problem of they can get bread for themselves? We walk by at least 10 places with bread. That's not a big problem. It's not. Not only is it not a big problem, as we said before, it's not only not a big problem, but anyone can solve it. So my question for you all watching this, what's the problem you're noticing around where you're going? What's the problem? And what do you think could be a solution to that? Because when you solve that problem, what I do with my coaching, when I'm working with people, I'm solving a problem because I can see the fear in people. I can see the scaredness. I can see the need for people to control things. And I know by removing that, they'll have all the answers they've ever wanted and even more. So the reason when I look at myself, and even if I look at myself through my glasses of who I used to be, getting paid astronomically from what I used to think was even possible, was because of a problem that I decided to take on. Helping people to be happy is a big problem that's out there. People being sad, that's a big problem. People not having peace, that's a big problem. So if you can bring happiness, you can bring peace, that's a big problem. That's a worthy problem. And we're paid off of the problems we solve, my friend. And I make this video, this is even what I came here to the center for, but I felt so called to make this video for you because it's the problems we solve. You gotta solve a bigger problem. You're struggling, you gotta find a bigger problem. Figure out a problem that you've had to solve for yourself and how you solved it, and teach other people how to do that. If you were depressed, so many of you guys have wrote me saying you were depressed, you had anxiety, you had all this different stuff, and you worked your way through it and you're okay now. How'd you do that? What was the steps you took? What did you focus on? How were you able to do it? Because when you can make it special to you, that's huge. That adds your value. That brings more value that you have as an individual to the market. Because remember, we're paid off of the value we bring to the market, not the value we have. We all have intrinsic values as humans, but the value we can bring to the market. And I gave the lady, and the last thing I'll tell you guys here before I go off and walk around and clear my head is, why do you watch this YouTube channel? I have your attention. Some of you guys come back here all the time. For what reason? For what reason? What reason do you do that? Why? Why do you keep coming back here? There's a problem that's being solved. Maybe you're bored at work. Maybe you think that I'm a positive person. You're like, well, Luke, he's always positive, so I'm gonna watch him so I can be more positive. Or maybe you wanna travel and you can't travel, or you are traveling, or you wanna know what it's like in different countries, and I've been there, so now you wanna watch and see how I did it. But I'm solving a problem regardless. Even if you're bored, or maybe you're someone who wants to work with me in the future, or maybe you're someone who's taking a program or gonna take a program, but there's a reason why you're here. There's a problem. All the programs I've ran from Operation Abroad that solved, why would people pay $500 to join this? What is that? I can't remember how long the program was, but it solved the problem. Why do people pay thousands of dollars for an hour of time? Because it solved a problem. And we're paid by the problems that we solve. So my friends, solve a bigger problem. Solve a bigger problem, think of a bigger problem. And if you just spend 90% of your time thinking of the bigger problem, and then 10% of your time solving it, that would be way more beneficial than trying to think of how to get more money or trying to save more money, because you're missing the point of solving the problem. So on that note, from here in the center of San Jose, I hope that helped you out. Maybe take you on a quick walk. I like to make my videos 10 minutes. For some reason, I have some weird thing about that. And ended on kind of a fun note, by the way. By the way, I stayed here in this place the last few days, spent a lot of time there in the Hilton. Beautiful place, beautiful place. And also the theater. This is the center where I made another video earlier today. But I want to thank you for being here. Think of a bigger problem to solve, my friend. That search for solving that problem is what is needed right now. So on that note, from here in the center of San Jose, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And I'll speak to you guys all later. Solve a bigger problem. And remember to work hard, be brave, and don't forget to smile. Ciao.